Lum is the famous alien girl from Rumiko Takahashi's legendary series Urusei Yatsura, which ran through the 1980s in Weekly Shonen Sunday magazine and saw a well-regarded adaptation by Kitty Films. Today we look at 23 pretty cool facts about the classic heroine, so let's get right into it. You might not know it, but Lum hates the scent of garlic. Most food she tolerates, but this is the one thing she really can't stand. Ataru often uses this to get back at her for her spicy cooking. Number 2 is that Lum enjoys dressing in Earth Girl clothing, often trying out different fashion styles from school uniforms to kimono. And I mean, half of the fun of getting to know her as a character is just seeing all the different ways she'll dress for special occasions. Number 3. Lum has 322 total electrical attacks in the entirety of the original manga, 190 of which are directed at Ataru. Honestly, it's kind of a surprise the man isn't a pile of ash by now. Number 4. As was pointed out to me in the comments, Lum was one of the first popular waifus in otaku culture. In other words, a lot of people got a crush on this cartoon character in Japan in the 1980s, and I mean, I can't really blame them, she's gorgeous. Number 5. Lum is pretty stable most of the time, that is until the annual ogre vs human Setsubun battle every spring. Yeah, she gets a little too into this and tends to go a bit nuts. Okay, yeah, she just tends to go basically completely nuts. Number 6. You might already know it, but Lum really loves spicy food. Like, really, really spicy food. She loves to put Tabasco sauce on everything and forces her cooking on Ataru despite his protest. Moving on to number 7. Lum and Shinobu have a pretty stormy relationship at the beginning of the series, fighting over Ataru constantly. However, over the series this fades as Shinobu moves on to other relationships and eventually they end up getting along pretty well, and even helping each other sometimes, which is nice. Number 8. Lum was originally intended to be a background character that occasionally turned up in the series. Ataru and Shinobu were actually intended as the protagonists, and though they still ended up as main characters, Lum became the series' favorite among millions, and is easily the most recognizable out of the Urusei Yatsura cast. As previously stated, while Lum is a main character, she isn't the main character, the protagonist of the series. This designation belongs to the infamous Ataru Moriboshi, as Rumiko Takahashi has pointed out in many of her interviews. Number 10. Lum is unaffected by drinking alcohol, but gets drunk really easily from eating pickled plums. And if you think an inebriated flying electric girl sounds dangerous, then, yeah, you're right, it totally is. Number 11. Without her horns, Lum loses her abilities to conduct electricity and fly. So I guess you could say her horns are basically the conductors for everything magic-wise in her case. Number 12. Lum is classified as an alien Oni. In Japanese mythology, Oni were often depicted as vile creatures who possessed horns and wore tiger-striped clothing that was created from a bad man's karma. Takahashi spun this concept and borrowed the aesthetics, turning Lum into the sexy ogre girl we know in the series, though she still got the clothes, the horns, and the fangs. Number 13. Lum directly inspired the magical girlfriend trope, which has been used in many series over the years, for better or for worse. And number 14. Lum as a character was largely based off of the Sino-American bikini model Agnes Lum, who gained popularity in the 1970s around the time Urusei Yatsura began. Number 15. Lum has become the poster girl of 1980s Japanese nostalgia culture. Her turntables, Walkmans, and Famicoms make up some of the imagery people most associate with anime's golden age. And number 16. As far as I can tell, Lum only refers to Ataru as Ataru instead of Darling, one time in the original manga, Volume 2, Chapter 13. But if there are other instances, please let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear about them. 17. According to Takahashi herself, Lum is very much her polar opposite in personality, very enthusiastic, expressive, and confident. Takahashi says she enjoyed creating characters that contrasted her own introverted tendencies, and Lum was a big part of this. Number 18. Fumi Hirano provided the original Japanese voice for Lum, which featured in the main series as well as the 6 extra movies and the most recent OVA a few years back. Number 19. Ataru's kind of a scaredy cat, but Lum isn't really scared by much of anything, probably due to her universal background of growing up around a lot of other aliens from other races. Still, she acts scared so she can cuddle up to Ataru. Number 20. Lum has 10 total kissing scenes in the series, some voluntary and some not so much. Not all of these kisses are with Ataru either, leading to some pretty spicy situations. Number 21. In the anime, Lum refers to herself using uchi, which is popular among many women of the Kansai region, and closes a ton of her statements with the verb ending cha, common among young Japanese girls who are trying to be overly cute or affectionate. Number 22. Lum sleeps in the closet when staying over at the Moroboshi house. This is actually because Rumiko Takahashi thought it was inappropriate for high schoolers to be sleeping in the same bed. Though, as we find out when Ataru does sleep with Lum later on, she gives off electricity inadvertently, so it's probably better if he sleeps alone anyway. 23. So that ad you saw at the beginning of the video? Yeah, the Japanese beverage company Suntory used Lum for their Regain energy drink commercial as the mascot, and that was the result. And so that's going to wrap up the 23 pretty cool facts about Lum. She's an extremely influential character, as I've said before, especially in the world of anime and manga, and one of my favorites. Anyway, if you have any other facts about Lum or Urusei Yatsura or Rumiko Takahashi, feel free to write them in the comments, and as always, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.